Well, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Connected Communities program for the San Diego Design Week. We're really excited to take you guys on this virtual tour and talk with you about our Keeler Court Apartments project. We are in a webinar format, so unfortunately we can't see you, but if you want to put something in the chat box and say hello and let us know who you are and maybe why you're interested in sort of the connected communities theme, that would be great. And then I think the other thing I wanted to point out at the beginning as well is, so you'll have two options to kind of engage with us. One is the chat box. The other one is the Q&A button. So as we're going through the program, if you have any questions, just click on that Q&A button and pose the questions there. And then we can start going through those questions when we get to the panel discussion. So let's take it away. So Keeler Court Apartments, you can see this is one of the renderings that we had done a few years back for the project. We're so excited that it's going to be finishing up. It's still under construction, but we're nearing the end. Our client is Community Housing Works. They're a nonprofit organization in San Diego, and they build and rehabilitate and preserve and maintain affordable housing in San Diego. So it's great to be able to support them in that endeavor, as we are in a housing crisis in California, and we need more housing. Highland is the general contractor. They've been a great team member, kind of building the project and implementing it. And then BNIM, again, my name is Danielle Berkebile, and I'm with BNIM, the architecture design team for the project itself. Before I move to the next slide, we're going to have sort of three sections within this program. So the first section, I'm going to go through a very brief overview of the project to kind of get everyone situated. And then we'll go through sort of a virtual tour where I'll kind of walk through the physical project and kind of you can see it live in its current state. And then we'll end in the third section with a panel discussion. So really quickly, just to get us situated, you can see this is the 805 freeway here on the right, 5 freeway on the left, and this is just kind of really quickly showing the project location in the Southcrest neighborhood in Southeast San Diego. And we've got a number of bus stops servicing a few bus lines within a half-mile distance from our project, which is great. A half-mile distance is about a 10-mile walk, so it's great to have that connection. And then the project itself is about 5 miles east of downtown San Diego. So it's kind of close within that urban area. Kind of zooming into the site connection itself, you can see the blue bars here. That is the sort of building footprint. And the sort of large green area just to the left of that, that's the Southcrest Park and Recreation Center. So it's great to have that amenity so close to the building. We also have some shops and retail shown in purple, which is kind of very close to the project. Great for residents to kind of get out and walk over there. And then in yellow, that's the Cesar Chavez Elementary School, and it's about a quarter mile away. So it's about a 5-minute walk away. Again, just a high level overview of the project. This is looking at the central courtyard, and the two buildings flank that central courtyard. So in the key map, it's sort of looking at this area here. The whole property is about 1.5 acres, and we have 71 homes across the two buildings. And you can see there are about 4-story buildings on the 2 bars, and they sort of flank this central courtyard. That's where we have a lot of the kind of open space amenities there. In terms of community engagement, the connection to community is, the really big theme for today. And When we were going through the design of the project, we had multiple meetings with the community. And in fact, it was, I think, 3 meetings with the community planning group. And we really got some great feedback that we were able to integrate in the design. You can see kind of some of the notes there that were some of the feedback that we got. And so as we go through the tour, you'll see all those things being pointed out. The sustainable performance is kind of one big feature that we like to point out, and it's, you know, a little unique for these types of projects. But we've got, you can see on the roof, a lot of photovoltaic or PV panels on the roof, in addition to a solar thermal hot water system. And between those 2 components, really almost half of the energy consumption of the project is offset. So that's kind of a really great feature and a really great way to sort of lower the utility bills for residents here as well. You can see we're also leveraging a lot of natural air throughout each space with operable windows, and also maximizing kind of natural daylight coming into each space. And we'll get into all of these things more in the tour. And then also just trying to orient everyone on the site before we jump into the tour. You can see there's a lot of the community common spaces clustered here, and where this number 5 is, that's really the main entry to the project. So the majority of people coming in and out will be sort of coming in and out through that entryway. That's where the kind of mailboxes are, and the leasing office and computer room and community room, and all of these great amenities that we've got for the future residents. And then you can see in the kind of common courtyard area, we've got a children's play area and a barbecue area and community garden and outdoor bicycle parking in addition to indoor bicycle parking. So that is the sort of very quick overview. And then we'll get into the presentation starting at the virtual tour starting at the main entry over here. And yeah, here's one more view looking at the sort of community space on the ground floor. And let's get into the tour. So I think, Dan, you're gonna take it away and share your screen.
Yep.
Hello and welcome.
After you guys finish that.
Here, neighborhood of Southeast San Diego, and in front of we're so excited to bring you on this virtual tour. As you can see, we are under construction. Our general contractor, Highland, is going to be finishing construction, and we're so excited to bring you on this tour and give you a sneak peek at some of these beautiful apartments. This is the main entryway here. We've got the mailboxes, the leasing office, the computer room, a lot of these common area spaces all clustered together at the entryway. So since we're coming in and out and coming in accessing getting your mail or talking to someone in the computer room, they'll all be kind of meeting with one another in sort of serendipitous encounters. And that really helps to better connect residents. And that's really the theme of our program is connected communities. So also along those lines, I'll point out that just to the south of us, directly across the street over there, there's a grocery store and a pharmacy and other shops. And then also to the west on that way, we've got the Cesar Chavez Elementary School, and it's just a quarter-mile away, about a 5-minute walk. So residents who live here, they don't necessarily need to jump in their car to go anywhere. They have the benefit of being able to walk across the street or take their bicycle. There's also a lot of bus stops and sort of blocks around us, so it's pretty accessible to public transportation as well. So building these types of projects that really encourage people to kind of get out, walk around, and connect with each other. We're so excited to create these types of yeah, let's go take a look at the community room. standing right outside of the community room. This is also where the two buildings open up to the courtyard, so the courtyard is the center of the space. We are facing west, so we've got a lot of the cool breezes coming from the ocean. In San Diego, we get to enjoy a lot of those westerly breezes that kind of bring the cool air from the ocean. So it's really nice to have this space opening up to kind of enjoy those breezes. The apartments are facing the courtyard as well. All of the windows in the apartments open up, and we've got ceiling fans in all those apartments, so it really kind of helps move the natural airflow throughout each space. You can also see as we go into the courtyard, there's gorgeous views downtown. So we'll kind of take a look at that later. But here where we're standing, we're going to have tables and chairs. Again, we're outside the community room, so residents can come here and kind of meet up with one another. The glass really helps to connect the community room on the inside and kind of people who are hanging out on the outside as well. We also have a kitchen off the community room on the inside, so space can kind of do small gatherings and people can kind of get together here and celebrate birthdays, things like that. So it's really great to kind of connect some of that interior space with the outdoor space here and get all of that activity as well. Within the courtyard space, we'll have a lot of things going on. You see the ground floor apartments open up to the courtyard space, so residents are coming and going and really interacting with the space. And yeah, let's go check out the children's play area. So here in this triangular space in the center, we're going to have some play equipment installed for a children's play area. We've got some new trees coming in that'll also help shade the space as well. It's really nice to have this centrally located, so it'll be easy for parents to keep an eye on their kids, and it really takes a village to raise kids, so hopefully some of the other residents might help out and keep an eye on them as well. Let's go take a look at the view. So here we are, we're standing on the stair landing between level 3 and level 4. Standing here, you can see once the PV panels on the roof. We've got PV panels on those roofs, and we also have a solar hot water system on this roof here, and that solar hot water system, heats up water and pumps it to the apartment with water. So between the PV panels and the solar hot water system, this project is anticipated to generate around 45% or a bit more than 45% of all the energy. So all of that will be renewable energy. Along the lines of sustainability and performance, Keeler Court Apartments is on track to achieve the Greenpoint Platinum rating, and the Greenpoint rating system is a third-party certification system that's available for typically used in residential newer existing. So the platinum rating is the highest level for sustainability. So all of those sustainability features that we talked about all kind of tie into that platinum rating. You can also see from our stairs, you can get a great view of downtown, and also you can see the Colorado Bridge in the distance. So again, with sort of equity in mind, it doesn't matter which apartment that you live in here, all residents will have access to stairs, to the bridge, and everyone will be able to enjoy the here. Let's go back down to the courtyard. Great. So behind me, you can see we have some material stored. This is actually going to be the impact tabs for the children's play area, but just behind that, the community garden is going to be installed, and so it's a great opportunity for residents to kind of grow their own fruits and vegetables and really kind of promote that healthy lifestyle. And then over here in this area, it's kind of a barbecue area, so there'll also be picnic tables and things like that, so that people can come here and connect with nature, enjoy the outdoors, and stuff like that. So here we're standing on the west end courtyard. You can see the site slopes down, and we've got an existing park just to the west of us, the Southcrest Park and Recreation Center. A really great opportunity for residents to get out and physical activity and connect to the nature, and also connect to other residents with the adjacent park right here. You can see the site is sloping down. All of the stormwater is going to be captured on site. So we have a stormwater detention system in place so that the stormwater will be left off site, will percolate on site, and recharge the groundwater well. You can see the stairs are all exterior, and all of the residents will be able to access both buildings using stairs. Really, we had equity in our mind because the project was used to enjoy such great views to the downtown. All the access to the stairs, and by placing the stairs with those views, because it will also motivate residents to use the stairs instead of the elevator. Studies do show that if you, I think it's walk 2 flights of stairs a day over the course of the year, that can add up to over 5 pounds of weight loss. So it does make an impact, and we hope that it motivates people to make the healthy choice and take the stairs. Looking back towards the building, when we were designing this building, we were really looking to design architecture with sort of a clean, contemporary aesthetic. We integrated a lot of warmer colors, so you can see we've got the orange color on the ground floor, really kind of welcoming people. And then we have the balconies on the upper floor highlighted in yellow. The pedestrian bridge that joins both buildings is kind of one of the architectural focal points of this project. It's also where sort of like hub of activity with the play area, community room, and, you know, where we were at the main entryway with the mailboxes, computer room, you know, all these common areas where residents are coming and using all these spaces, really sort of allow that cluster of activity to happen. Courtyard and house where the bridge is at the entryway to the project. The bridge really helps sort of signal the main entryway for the project and kind of also welcome people and bring people into the courtyard space. Let's go check out one of the apartments so we can walk over the central stair and go up to see one of the apartments. You can see walking down the corridors here, all of the corridors for this project are outside, and we've got light wells actually, so all of the natural light can kind of come in through the corridors, and it also helps with natural ventilation. So the breezes that are coming into the apartments kind of also pull through and out the corridor areas. So it really helps kind of move all those natural systems around. Let's go check out the apartment. Great, so here we are inside of one of our apartments. You can see we don't have any lights on, but there's a lot of really great natural daylight coming into the space. You'll see the ceiling fans. So when we open the windows, that ceiling fan will help pull the air into the space and natural space as well. We're standing in the living and dining kitchen area, so we've got a great here. A lot of the finishes that we've picked out are layered finishes, trying to get that natural light out into the space as far as possible. All of the materials that we have installed here are also USGBC, so that helps create healthier indoor air quality for our residents. The sinks and the showers and toilets are also low flow fixtures, so they use less water. And then both of our buildings here also great insulation. Both buildings have a roof, which is highly reflective white roof that reflects more heat back from the sky instead of coming into the building. And then we've got roof insulation and wall insulation and windows. So all together really helps to keep the indoor space really cool in the summer and also winter. So balcony. Each apartment with the balcony also has personal storage space within the balcony itself. And the balcony also provides that personal space outdoors, so it really helps them, gives them an opportunity to connect with nature outside and connect to the outside natural environment. You can also see the views to downtown San Diego in the distance, so all of those apartments that are facing towards the courtyard will also have those really nice views. In addition, we've got some really great views into the courtyard, and that courtyard is going to be a really dynamic environment where you'll be able to see the kids playing in the play area. You can see community members getting together in the community room over there. You'll be able to see families gathering and having picnics, and then also residents and gardening and community gardens. So they'll just be that hub of activity that's in the center of the project, really connecting people and bringing people together. So great, we really enjoyed sharing this project with you on this tour. That's it, and we'll transition over to the panel discussion now. We hope you've enjoyed this sneak peek, and we're looking forward to hearing your questions. Thanks.
Great. Dan, are you going to share the next sort of screen, or do you want me to do that?
If you have it up, if you don't mind grabbing it, that'd be great.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Danielle, thanks for the tour. That was great. Good to see the whole space virtually. So I'm Dan Johnson, BNIM as well, and we're going to kind of get into this Q&A section. Just a reminder to put your questions in the Q&A tab on the bottom. We can't see you guys, unfortunately, but we'll be able to kind of run through these questions. And we have the opportunity today to be here with Tim and Sable, who are both with Community Housing Works. So they'll be able to answer some of these questions as well. So we'll jump into some of you put them in the chat, so we'll do that first real quick. Stanley said, what is the demographic of people living there? I don't know, Tim or Sable, if you guys want to jump in and answer that one. You might be muted.
Yeah, this is Tim with Community Housing Works. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just like I put in the chat, this project is focused on families and individuals at about 30 to 60% area median income. And what's different and unique is that there's 7 units that are targeted for formerly homeless veterans. We're working with the Veterans Affairs Office and HUD and the Housing Commission to fill those units, and that's exciting to be able to help out those folks.
Awesome. What are some of the unique features for Keeler Court that push the boundaries? Some of those differentiators, excuse me. I don't know, Sable, if you want to work on that one, or Danielle, if you want to tag in on that.
Yeah, I can maybe start off. Just, I guess, following with the demographic question as well. There's a kind of diverse range of apartment sizes in the project. So we've got studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and then also quite a bit of 3 bedrooms as well. So supporting kind of families and as well as those veterans that Tim was talking about. In terms of the differentiators of the project, I mean, I think really the location, to be in such close proximity to kind of the public transit and the gorgeous Southcrest Park and Rec Center and all the shops across the street and then the school down the road. I think it's just a really unique opportunity to add additional homes here on this particular site and kind of really find a way of connecting that site with the community. So having the buildings kind of open up to that park and to the views, I think is just a really great opportunity. And then as well, I know this particular project, because of its sustainability performance and also because of Community Housing Works' commitment to sustainability, I believe Community Housing Works was also investing in additional bicycle lane infrastructure within the community as well. This was one of the first projects to secure, I believe it was the Affordable and Sustainable Communities funding from the state. So I don't know, Tim or Sable, if you can speak a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. I can speak a little bit on it. Unfortunately, our project manager, Rosalind Ross, is not in town today, so we're sort of pinch hitting. But yeah, there's a number of sort of transit-oriented related connections on this project. It's within a Sandag smart growth opportunity area, and yeah, the funding that Danielle mentioned is also a big piece of that. Comes with a number of commitments that Community Housing Works is taking on for this project related to infrastructure improvements to support bicycle and pedestrian access in the neighborhood, as well as the tenants that'll live there get subsidized transit passes.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good to hear that Community Housing Works is really connecting back to the community itself that they're building in. I guess on that idea of connection, and that's sort of the whole theme here, kind of, I don't know if you two want to go into the idea of why connection is so important in multifamily design, speaking from a perspective of Community Housing Works.
Right. Well, I think connection is so important because, I mean, we're sort of adding new residents to the community, so to speak, right? So making sure that the building sort of fits into its context and also does so in a way so that it strengthens the sense of community there, right? So being able to design a building that provides a space for residents to get together and doing it in such a way that you sort of increase the chance encounters that can happen between residents, right? So if you go to get your mail, you're walking, you know, by the community room and you're walking by all these other spaces. And so the chance that you might see a familiar face as you're doing that and then see that face on a recurring basis and say hello, I think really sort of supporting that human connection is so important. I see there is a question in the chat from Judith. Did you get any pushback from the surrounding community to have affordable housing? I mean, the pushback, in all honesty, was not necessarily to not have the project here. There was some concern about security, but Community Housing Works has kind of a great track record and sort of the management and operation of other projects. And really the data shows that these types of projects don't result in kind of additional security issues. That's kind of a unfounded belief that some residents have, but it's really not supported by data. And the way that this project has been designed and the services and programs that Community Housing Works provides is really setting up these residents for success and really committed to making sure it's a successful project and that it really adds benefit to the community.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point to highlight, that these projects can be beautiful and integrate into the community and be beneficial. I wonder if there are any other major takeaways on the project that we could share with the group on how to build better attainable housing. Yeah.
Well, I think it's really that collaborative. Sure. It's really that collaborative effort, right? Not just the collaboration between you know, the nonprofit organizations such as Community Housing Works, that is really, you know, going to be supporting this type of project. But the collaboration with the community and the connection with the community as you go through the design process to sort of set it up for success. And I think all of the sustainability features in terms of just the building itself with the PV panels, but then also the infrastructure that Community Housing Works committed to the community to sort of, you know, support alternative modes of transportation, such as taking your bicycle around or walking around and making sure that you feel safe within kind of the street environment to do those things. I think it's a real commitment to kind of improve the community and give back to the community. I see there's a question in the Q&A.
Yeah. Yeah, Stanley was wondering what Community Housing Works is. I think we talked on it a little bit, but maybe Tim or Sable, you guys can talk more in depth and kind of what you guys do and what your future plans maybe are as well.
Yeah, I can give a brief overview, but happy to talk more detailed too. So Community Housing Works has been around for over 30 years. And I'm relatively new. I'm not sure exactly how many units we have, but it's a lot, mostly in San Diego. But we have a project under construction up in Sacramento, and just finished up a rehab in San Jose. So we're sort of moving to statewide, and yeah, I mean, it's a very long-standing, well-run, community-based affordable housing provider that really focuses on, you know, just income-restricted housing for families and individuals. We have a smattering of, like at Keeler, housing for the formerly homeless, and just really do a lot of partnering with great service providers in different communities in the area and across the state. So yeah, that's a bit about us. And you know, we have a lot of projects in the pipeline at the moment. I think it's around 11 or 12, either in construction or pre-development or that sort of thing. And there's a huge need in the area, as you all know. So yeah, we're excited. I mean, this project is just amazing at Keeler here, where it's bringing everything together, from the transportation to the community to the being right next to the park. It's got so many great elements. We're not able to get that everywhere. And so this is a really amazing project, and we're thrilled to be working on it with our partners at BNIM and Highland Construction as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun. The team's had a lot of fun working with you guys, and I've actually worked with Rosalind on a few presentations before, and in our office. So seems like a really good group. That's sort of the end of our questions. I don't know if anyone else has a few that they're holding on to that they want to throw out there for the end.
Yeah, it looks like we've got someone with Highland who was able to join, and he sort of reiterates that we've kind of have had a great reception with the kind of neighbors adjacent to the project as we've been going through construction. So yeah, we've gotten some really great positive support so far. And yeah, Judith, I see your point that you like that it's sort of the height and that it's not a skyscraper. I mean, I think, you know, there's such a need for housing in the area, right? And I don't think that it's kind of, there's one solution, so to speak, right? That we need to be building skyscrapers everywhere. I think we need to kind of address the issue in a variety of ways. And some of these communities like Southcrest neighborhood, doing that something that's a little bit of a more medium density on a lower scale, sort of fits better within the fabric of the existing community. We
did get another question as well too about, the question is, who does one talk to about ideas for affordable housing designs?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're happy to hear from you if you've got ideas on affordable housing design. We've definitely, this is, you know, one of our projects that we've designed here, and we also have others that kind of we're happy to discuss. So
Yeah, likewise, from Community Housing Works aspect, happy to share my email and have folks reach out as well.
Awesome. I think that is all I'm seeing. A really good list of questions and a little bit of dialogue here. I think Danielle, if you want to close it out, and I think we'll be good.
yeah, no, thank you everyone for being able to join us today. And I can kind of put my email here in the chat before signing off, so that everyone has it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're kind of happy to share this type of, you know, high quality design and you know, something that connects with the community and collaboration, especially in an era of getting through the pandemic where we've been isolated for so long. I mean, being able to support these kind of human interactions on a project like this is really great, even though we have to do the tour virtually. Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining in